And there we go. Good afternoon or good evening, football fans. I'm up against it right now, and I apologize for being so late. Big Al here on this Thursday, December 8th, 2022. And we're going to run my Week 14 picks in the NFL, both straight up and against the spread. I'll outline the maps of the Sunday afternoon games, plus all the announcers for each game this week. And at the end, we'll update the current NFL playoff races in both the AFC and NFC as we go into week number 14 of this 2022 season. Now, my phone's acted up, and I normally look at the standings there. So I'm going to have it up on my Chromebook. You won't be able to see me as I put up these rankings, but I will be telling you about the standings in the NFL and the playoff races once we get to that point. Okay, so this is week number 14. There are 5 weeks left in the season, including this week. We have 13 games on the schedule. Beginning tonight, of course, with the Raiders and Rams from Los Angeles. You have 10 games in the 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific window on Sunday afternoon. Or 10 games in total on Sunday afternoon. 7 of those are in the 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific window. The Jets at the Bills, Ravens at the Steelers, Browns at Bengals, and Jaguars at Titans will all air on CBS, while Fox has the Eagles and Giants, Cowboys hosting the Texans, and the Vikings visiting the Lions. The one game of regional interest airing in the late window on CBS is the Chiefs and the Broncos, and that's one of the 3 late games. Fox has the doubleheader. The marquee matchup is the Buccaneers and 49ers, and the other game on Fox late Sunday afternoon is the Panthers at the Seahawks. Then the week wraps up with Sunday Night Football and the Dolphins visiting the Chargers. Now, this game was flexed into Sunday Night Football, replacing the Broncos-Chiefs game. And Monday Night Football will wrap up week number 14 as the Arizona Cardinals welcome Bill Belichick's New England Patriots to the desert. That being said, this is the last of the bye weeks being handed out in the NFL, as 6 teams are off this week. And those 6 teams are the Atlanta Falcons at 5-8 and currently ranked number 21 in my week 14 power rankings. The Chicago Bears at 3-10 and number 30. The Houston Texans at 1-1 and number 32. The Indianapolis Colts at 4-8-1 and number 27. The New Orleans Saints at 4-9 and number 29. And the Washington Commanders 7-5-1 and number 10. So that being said, let's jump into my week 14 picks, starting off with Thursday Night Football, kicking off in a little more than 2 hours from now. It's the 5-7 Las Vegas Raiders at the 3-9 Los Angeles Rams. Vegas comes in ranked number 20 in my week 14 power rankings. The Rams are number 31. This game is tonight at 8:15 Eastern on Prime Video. The announcers are Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. This game will be locally televised on KTNV 13 Action News in Las Vegas. That's the ABC station there. And Fox owned and operated KTTV Channel 11 in Los Angeles. And I didn't get these point spreads written until later. So the point spreads as of 4:30 p.m. Eastern time in this game at least was Vegas minus 6.5, and the over-under was 42. And call me crazy, I've taken the over in all but 2 games this week, including this one. So I have the Raiders winning 28-17. I got the A finishing over 42. And I'm picking Vegas minus 6.5. That brings us to the Sunday afternoon portion of the schedule, where you have the 8-4 and AFC North Division co-leading Baltimore Ravens minus Lamar Jackson, visiting Kenny Pickett and the 5-7 Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore comes in number 9 in my power rankings, while the Steelers come in at number 18. This is Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. Oh, and by the way, the maps for all the Sunday afternoon games and the announcers for each game, that's courtesy of the 506sports.com website. In which, if you look for the Ravens and Steelers on 506sports.com, this game is listed in green. The main CBS stations are WJZ Channel 13 Baltimore and KDKA Channel 2 in Pittsburgh, both of which are CBS owned and operated stations. Major markets outside Baltimore and Pittsburgh in this game include Charlotte, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, Durham, Norfolk, Richmond, and Washington, D.C. The announcers for this game are Kevin Harlan and Trent Green. Current point spread as of 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time is Pittsburgh minus 2, over-under is 36.5. Lamar or no Lamar, I think the Ravens can win this game. As you can tell by this rivalry, the Ravens and Steelers traditionally have played very tight games. I think like the last 9 or 10 meetings in the series were decided by a touchdown or less. I think that trend continues. I have Baltimore winning 20-17, even without Lamar Jackson. This game goes just over 36.5, and I have Baltimore with the points. All right, the other AFC North battle this week hits the 5-7 Cleveland Browns and the 8-4 Cincinnati Bengals. Sunday at 1 p.m. on CBS. On the CBS map at 506sports.com, this game is shaded in yellow. Main CBS stations are WOIO Channel 19 in Cleveland and WKRC 12 in Cincinnati. And this game is primarily being aired to, say, Ohio, portions of Indiana, and Kentucky. That's pretty much it. Other markets outside of Cleveland and Cincinnati getting this game include Louisville, Lexington, Dayton, Columbus, Fort Wayne, and Toledo. Excuse me, sorry about that. The announcers for this game are Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta. Current point spread is Cincinnati at minus 5.5, and the over-under is 46.5. Now, the storyline in this game is Joe Burrow has never beaten the Cleveland Browns. He's 0-3 all-time against Cleveland, including their first meeting of the season back on Halloween in Cleveland, in which the Bengals looked like straight-up trash. And I think Vegas was a little generous to the Bengals, giving them this spread of 5.5 points. I'm expecting a letdown from Joe Burrow and the Bengals this week. I'm taking Cleveland 24-21. Over, under, I have the game going. In fact, I have this game finishing under 46.5 because I have the two teams scoring 45 points. And I'm taking Cleveland plus the 5.5 points. All right, next up, the Battle of Texas. The 1-10-1 Houston Texans officially eliminated from playoff contention, visiting the 9-3 Dallas Cowboys. And the boys have been hot since Dak Prescott returned from injury. They have a 5-1 record since his return. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Main Fox stations include Fox owned and operated stations KRIV Channel 26 in Houston and fellow Fox owned and operated station KDFW Channel 4 Dallas Fort Worth. Other markets getting this game include Albuquerque, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Little Rock, Shreveport, and Memphis. The announcers for this game are Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez. And the current point spread for this game is Dallas minus 18. That's like a college-style point spread. Over under is set at 44. I have the Cowboys handling their business in this game, winning 34-17. Got the game going over 44 points. But I'm taking Houston because 18. I'm taking Houston with the points because 18 is quite a big number to cover for any team, let alone an NFL team. All right, on we go to the AFC South as the 4-8 Jacksonville Jaguars visit the 7-5 Tennessee Titans. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. On the CBS map on Fox6Sports.com, this game is shaded in orange. Major markets for this game include Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga, Birmingham, Atlanta, Tallahassee, and Orlando. The main CBS stations are WJAX Channel 47 in Jacksonville and WTVF News Channel 5 in Nashville. The announcers are Andrew Catalon and James Lofton. Current point spread is Tennessee minus 3.5. The over-under is at 41. I'm taking the Titans to win this one 24-16. I think they'll bounce back from a pretty ugly performance against Philadelphia last week. I have the game going over 41 points, or this game is finishing under 41 points. And I have Tennessee covering the 3.5. Now, both of these teams are coming off pretty ugly performances in Week 13. Of course, you know about the Titans getting torched by the Eagles. The Jaguars, likewise, against the Detroit Lions. So this is a get-right game for both teams, especially the Tennessee Titans. Speaking of the Detroit Lions, that's our next game. They're hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Detroit comes in with a 5-7 record, and they're quietly one of the hottest teams in football, winning 4 of their last 5. And Minnesota continues to win these close games, hence their 10-2 record. And they now have 9 victories where the game was decided by 1 score or less. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this game is shaded in green. Main Fox stations are KMSP Channel 9 Minneapolis St. Paul and WJBK Channel 2 in Detroit, both Fox owned and operated stations. Markets outside Detroit and the Twin Cities getting this game include Des Moines, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, my hometown of Grand Rapids, Lansing, Flint, South Bend, Fort Wayne, and Toledo. The announcers for this game are Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma. Current point spread is Detroit, surprisingly, -2. The over-under is 51.5. And this may be a letdown game for the Minnesota Vikings, given the fact that their first meeting in the Twin Cities earlier this year, the Lions could have won. But Dan Campbell had some serious issues with clock management, and that cost the Lions at the end. I think Detroit gets their revenge here, giving the Lions 30-24. Over-under is 51.5. I got the game going over 51.5. And I'm taking the Lions at home -2. All right. Now for the team that the Vikings just defeated last week, and that's the New York Football Jets at 7-5, flying into Orchard Park to perhaps finish a season sweep of the 9-3 Buffalo Bills. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on CBS. And this is the national game of interest in the early block on CBS, as this game is shaded in red on 506sports.com. The main CBS stations are CBS owned and operated and East Coast flagship WCBS Channel 2 in New York, and CBS affiliate WIVB Channel 4 in Buffalo. Markets getting this game outside of New York City and Buffalo include Seattle, Spokane, Portland, Boise, San Francisco, Sacramento, Reno, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Tucson, Little Rock, Shreveport, New Orleans, Green Bay, Madison, Milwaukee, Chicago, Indianapolis, Grand Rapids, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Hartford, Providence, Boston, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, and Miami, Fort Lauderdale. The announcers are Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The current point spread from this game is Buffalo at -10, which I think is an over-exaggeration. Over-under is set at 43 points. I'm going to take the Bills in a revenge spot to win 26-20, because I don't see a way possible that the Bills can lose to the Jets twice in the same year. I just don't see that happening. I have the game going over 43, but I am taking the New York Jets with the points, because like I said in the Dallas-Houston game, 10 is a big number to cover. Now, can Buffalo cover 10 points? They pretty much can cover 10 points, but not against this New York Jet defense. All right, moving on to the national game of interest in game 1 of Fox's doubleheader, and that's the 11-1 Philadelphia Eagles at the 7-4-1 New York Football Giants. Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox, and this is the first of 2 meetings between these NFC East rivals. On the Fox early map on 506sports.com, this being the early game of interest, or the national game of interest in the early window on Fox, this game shaded in red. Main Fox stations are WTXF Channel 29 Philadelphia and WNYW Channel 5 in New York, both of which are Fox-owned and operated stations. And much of the country will be getting this game. Major markets outside of New York and Philly getting this game include Seattle, Spokane, Portland, Boise, San Francisco, Sacramento, Reno, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, San Diego, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Phoenix, Tucson, Denver, Colorado Springs, Omaha, Kansas City, St. Louis, Birmingham, Baton Rouge, Nolens, Indianapolis, Louisville, Lexington, Nashville, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, Atlanta, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, Boston, Providence, Hartford, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Norfolk, Charlotte, Raleigh-Durham, and Greensboro, Winston-Salem. Again, much of the country will be in this game. The announcers are Joe Davis and Darryl Johnston. Current point spread is Philadelphia -7, and the over-under is 44.5. Well, Mitch Milani made his picks on the Bottom Line View last night and said that Philly would win, but the Giants would cover. Sorry, Mitch, but I have to disagree with you here. I'm going with my Philadelphia Eagles 31-21. I have the game going over 44.5, and I've got Philadelphia covering the 7 points. Take that, Mitch. All right, moving on to the late portion of the Sunday afternoon schedule. The regional game of interest on CBS is the 9-3 Kansas City Chiefs at the 3-9 Denver Broncos, who just continues to have offensive issues. This is Sunday at 4:05 Eastern on CBS. On the CBS map on 506sports.com, this game's listed in blue. Main CBS stations are KCTV Channel 5 in Kansas City, a mere CBS affiliate, and KCNC Channel 4 in Denver, which is a CBS owned and operated station. All right, major markets outside Denver and Kansas City getting this game include San Diego, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Albuquerque, Colorado Springs, El Paso, San Antonio, Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, Omaha, Des Moines, St. Louis, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Detroit, and Philadelphia. The announcers for this game are Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. Current point spread is Kansas City minus 9.5, and the over-under is 44. I'm taking the Chiefs 27-20. I have the game going over 44. But I'm taking the Broncos to cover that massive 9.5 point spread. I mean, Kansas City can easily blow this Denver team out if their offense is clicking. And I think their offense will click. But Denver has the defense to make this a closer affair, I think. All right, now to game 2 of Fox's doubleheader, starting off with the 4-8 Carolina Panthers, who has been playing a lot better over the past month, facing off with Geno Smith and the 7-5 Seattle Seahawks. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. On the Fox late map on 506sports.com, this game shaded in blue. The main Fox stations for this game are WJZY Channel 46 in Charlotte, which is a Fox affiliate, and KCPQ Channel 13 Seattle Tacoma, which is a Fox owned and operated station. And not a lot of coverage area for this game. Other markets besides Charlotte and Seattle getting this game include Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro, Winston-Salem, Spokane, Portland, and Boise. That's it. The announcers are Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. Current point spread is Seattle minus 3.5, and the over-under is 44. Now, Tessa is one of the moderators on the Bottom Line View, and she's a Seahawks fan. And I had initially taken the Seahawks to win, but I need to apologize to you, Tessa, but I got Carolina winning this game 24-20. I mean, there is no denying that the Panthers have been playing a lot better over this past month. And that's what's drawn me to take the Panthers in this spot. So, again, I have Carolina winning 24-20. Apologies to Tessa. I have the game pushing 44 points, and I'm taking the Panthers plus the 3.5. Now, the marquee matchup in the late window on Fox is the 6-6 Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the 8-4 San Francisco 49ers. As Bay Area native and Bucs quarterback Tom Brady returns home to face the team he grew up cheering for. Sunday at 4:25 Eastern on Fox. On the Fox late map on 506sports.com, this game shaded in red. Main Fox stations for this game are WTVT Channel 13 Tampa St. Petersburg and KTVU Channel 2 San Francisco, both Fox owned and operated stations. Major markets outside San Fran and Tampa getting this game include Sacramento, Reno, Fresno, Bakersfield, Los Angeles, San Diego, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Tucson, Salt Lake City, Denver, Colorado Springs, Albuquerque, El Paso, Grand Rapids, Detroit, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Dayton, Columbus, Cleveland, Louisville, Lexington, Knoxville, Atlanta, Tallahassee, Jacksonville, Orlando, Fort Myers, West Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Rochester, Syracuse, Albany, New York, Hartford, Providence, Boston, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Richmond, Norfolk, and every single Fox station in the Central Time Zone. So that means Chicago, Dallas, Fort Worth, Kansas City, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Houston. If you're in the Central Time Zone, you are getting this game late on Sunday afternoon. The announcers are Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson. Current point spread is San Francisco at -3.5, and the over-under is at -37.5. Now, Brock Purdy is expected to start for the San Francisco 49ers in place of the injured Jimmy Garoppolo. And listening to Mitch yesterday on the BLV, Purdy might be prone to making some mistakes in this game, and that's why I'm taking the Buccaneers to win. I'm taking the Buccaneers to win because, one, Brock Purdy may be thrown into some mistakes, and two, it's Tom Brady's homecoming. So you know he's got to show up in front of the hometown fans, right? Because I had initially took San Francisco, but I have Tampa winning this game 23-20, and this win would be huge for the Buccaneers as far as the playoffs are concerned. I have this game finishing over 37.5, which is the second lowest point total on the board this week. And I have Tampa Bay plus the points, which is 3.5. All right, on to Sunday Night Football. Again, this game was flexed in, replacing the Chiefs and Broncos. It's the 8-4 Miami Dolphins at the 6-6 Los Angeles Chargers. Speaking of teams fighting for their playoff lives. Sunday night at 8:20 Eastern on NBC. Main NBC stations for this game are WTVJ Channel 6 Miami Fort Lauderdale and KNBC Channel 4 in Los Angeles, both NBC owned and operated stations. Announcers are Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, with sideline reports from Melissa Stark. Current point spread is Miami at -3.5, and the over-under is at 51.5. I'm going to have to take the Chargers here because I do not trust Miami's defense. I just don't trust Miami's defense. And this is a good spot for Justin Herbert to have a very solid game. And word on the street is Mike Williams may return to play in this game, and that's going to make this Charger offense even more dangerous. So with that, I'm going to pick the Chargers 31-27. I have the game going over 51.5, and I'm taking LA plus the 3.5 points. And wrapping up Week 14 is Monday Night Football down here in the desert, as Mac Jones and the 6-6 New England Patriots also fighting for their lives in the AFC playoff picture. Travel just 20 minutes up the street from me at State Farm Stadium to battle the 4-8 Arizona Cardinals. Of course, the last time we saw the Cardinals, they dropped that heartbreaker to the Chargers. And that was back in week number 12. All right, so this game is Monday at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, which will be blacking out the game in both the Boston and Phoenix markets. So with that said, this game will be locally televised on CBS owned and operated WBZ Channel 4 in Boston and on KPHO Channel 5, which is our CBS station here in Phoenix. The announcers are Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. Current point spread, which I think is kind of disrespectful, is New England -1. This should be a much larger point spread considering how bad the Cardinals have been. But I digress. The over-under is at 43.5. I'm taking the Patriots to win 24-17. I have the game going under 43.5. And I have New England covering that meager 1-point spread. Again, your teams off this week are the 5-8 Atlanta Falcons, the 3-10 Chicago Bears, the 1-10-1 Houston Texans, the 4-8-1 Indianapolis Colts, the 4-9 New Orleans Saints, and the 7-5-1 Washington Commanders. Which right now, looking at the playoffs in the NFL, if they were to begin right now, unfortunately for the Commanders, they would be out of the running. So we're going to take a look now at the NFL playoff rankings or the playoff standings entering week number 14. Your division leaders in the AFC are the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC East and West, respectively. The Baltimore Ravens in the AFC North and the Tennessee Titans in the AFC South. And as it sits right now, Buffalo would have the first round bye. As the Bills 9-3, they're 1-2 versus the AFC East, 6-2 conference record, 538 strength of schedule, 486 strength of victory. They would win the tiebreaker over Kansas City based on head-to-head win percentage. That puts the Chiefs second with their 9-3 record. They are 3-0 in the West, 5-3 in the conference, 486 strength of schedule, and 454 strength of victory. Number 3 is the Baltimore Ravens, 9-4, or rather 8-4. Sorry about that. 2-0 versus the North, 5-3 in the conference, 493 strength of schedule, 443 strength of victory. Baltimore wins the tiebreak over Cincinnati based on head-to-head win percentage. And number 4, rounding out your division leaders, are the Tennessee Titans at 7-5. 3-0 versus the South, 5-3 overall, 510 strength of schedule, and 352 strength of victory. All right, the Bengals, Dolphins, and Jets would have your 3 wild card spots in the AFC. As it sits right now, Cincinnati is in the number 5 spot with an 8-4 record. 1-3 versus the North, 5-3 conference, 521 strength of schedule, 500 strength of victory. That bumps Miami down to number 6. They're also 8-4, 2-1 in the East, 6-2 in the conference, 521 strength of schedule, same as the Bengals, and 438 strength of victory. Cincinnati wins the tiebreaker over Miami based on head-to-head win percentage. Remember, they played on Thursday Night Football earlier this year, and Bengals won. And then the last playoff spot in the AFC belongs to the New York Jets as of right now. 7-5. 2-2 versus the AFC East, 5-4 overall in the conference. 521 strength of schedule and 442 strength of victory. Meanwhile, on the outside of the playoff race in the AFC, both the New England Patriots and Los Angeles Chargers sit at 6-6. Patriots are 2-2 versus the East and 5-3 in the conference. The Chargers are 2-3 versus the West and 4-4 in the conference. Strength of schedule for New England is 520. Their strength of victory is 459. And for Los Angeles, strength of schedule is 452. Strength of victory is 322. New England wins the tiebreaker over Los Angeles based on best win percentage in conference games. As you see there, 5-3 in the AFC for the Patriots, 4-4 for the Chargers. So that is 8 and 9. And you have a three-way tie for 10th with the Raiders, Browns, and Steelers, all sitting at 5 and 7. Okay, the Raiders are 3-2 in the West, 4-5 in the conference, 404 strength of schedule, 342 strength of victory. Cleveland is also 5-7, 2-1 in the AFC North, 3-6 in the conference, 507 strength of schedule, 408 strength of victory. And the Steelers also 5-7, 1-2 in the AFC North, 2-6 in the AFC as a whole, 554 strength of schedule, 437 strength of victory. As for the tiebreakers, Vegas would win the tiebreaker over Cleveland based on best win percentage in conference games. That's 4-5 for the Raiders, 3-6 for the Browns. The division tiebreaker was initially used to eliminate Pittsburgh, which, by the way, the Browns owns the tiebreaker over the Steelers based on head-to-head win percentage. Now, taking a look at the rest of the AFC, number 13 is the Indianapolis Colts, 4-8-1, 1-3-1 versus the AFC South, 4-5-1 in the conference, 503 strength of schedule, 438 strength of victory. Number 14 is the Jacksonville Jaguars, 4-8, 1-2 versus the AFC South, 4-4 within the conference, 493 strength of schedule, 480 strength of victory. 15 is the Denver Broncos, 3-9, 0-3 versus the AFC West, 2-7 overall in the conference, 462 strength of schedule, 375 strength of victory. And sitting 16th and officially eliminated from contention, the Houston Texans, 1-10-1, 1-1-1 versus the AFC South, and 1-6-1 versus the AFC, period. 486 strength of schedule, 333 strength of victory. Now that brings us to the NFC playoff picture. Your four division leaders as of right now would be the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC East, the Minnesota Vikings in the NFC North, the San Francisco 49ers in the NFC West, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the NFC South. Philadelphia would have the first round bye in the NFC playoffs if they were to begin tonight, sitting with the NFL's best record at 11-1. 2-1 within the NFC East and 6-1 in the conference. 473 strength of schedule, 463 strength of victory. Number 2 is the Minnesota Vikings at 10-2, 3-0 in the NFC North, 6-2 within the conference, 530 strength of schedule, 472 strength of victory. And they can actually clinch the NFC North this week if they beat or tie the Lions. Keep that in mind. Number 3 is the San Francisco 49ers at 8-4, 4-0 within the NFC West, and 6-2 in the conference. 401 strength of schedule, 402 strength of victory. So those numbers are pretty close to each other. Number 4 is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 6-6, 3-1 within the NFC South, 6-2 in the conference, 459 strength of schedule, and 427 strength of victory. All right. The Cowboys, Giants, and Seahawks both hold the 3 wildcard spots in the NFC. Dallas pretty much has a stranglehold on that number 5 spot as of right now with a 9-3 record. 3-1 within the NFC East, 7-3 in the conference, 527 strength of schedule, 505 strength of victory. Number 6 is the New York Giants, 7-4-1, 0-2-1 within the division, 3-4-1 in the conference, 476 strength of schedule, 378 strength of victory. And in that 7th and final playoff spot, the Seattle Seahawks, 7-5, 3-1 in the NFC West, 5-4 in the conference, 414 strength of schedule, 387 strength of victory. And just outside the playoffs, sitting in the number 8 spot, you have the Washington Commanders, or should I say the idle Washington Commanders. 7-5-1, 1-2-1 in the NFC East, 4-4-1 in the conference, 522 strength of schedule, 386 strength of victory. Also not too far out, the Detroit Lions, 5-7, 2-1 in the NFC North, 4-4 within the conference, 592 strength of schedule, 429 strength of victory. Then you have a tie for 10th with the Falcons and Packers. Atlanta is 5-8, 1-3 in the NFC South, 4-5 in the conference, 443 strength of schedule and strength of victory. Green Bay is also 5-8, 2-2 in the NFC North, 4-5 in the conference, 572 strength of schedule, 435 strength of victory. Atlanta, however, wins the tiebreaker over Green Bay based on strength of victory. They have the same conference record, but Green Bay has the better strength of schedule percentage than Atlanta. But based on strength of victory, Atlanta wins this tiebreaker with the Packers. Then you got the Cardinals and Panthers tied for 12th. Arizona 4-8, 1-4 within the NFC West, 3-6 in the conference, 531 strength of schedule, 327 strength of victory. And Carolina also 4-8, 3-1 in the NFC South, 3-5 in the conference, 452 strength of schedule, 3-6 strength of victory. Arizona wins the tiebreaker over Carolina based on head-to-head win percentage. 14th is the New Orleans Saints, 4-9, 1-3 in the NFC South, 3-6 in the conference, 503 strength of schedule, 408 strength of victory. Number 15 are the defending Super Bowl champions, but on the verge of being eliminated from the playoffs, and that's the Los Angeles Rams. 3-9 record, 1-4 within the NFC West, 3-7 in the conference. 527 strength of victory, 351 strength of, or 527 strength of schedule, I should say. Their strength of victory is 351. And sitting at the bottom of the NFC at number 16 and officially out of the race, the Chicago Bears. 3-10, 0-4 in the NFC North, 1-8 within the conference. 528 strength of schedule and 431 strength of victory. And that will wrap things up with my week 14 picks in the NFL, both straight up and against the spread. The maps outlining these Sunday afternoon games and the announcers for all Sunday afternoon games and the updated playoff standings in the National Football League. Joe Shicey's on. He said, "What's up?" And my boy Tommy Thompson from the BLV says, "JETS." Tommy's a Jets fan. All right, that is it for today. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. You are all set for week number 14. Thanks for watching and enjoy the pigskin. Don't forget, Raiders Rams tonight on Prime Video, 8:15 Eastern. Peace out.